The enforcer label pinned on Sophie Cunningham isn't just lazy. It's a deliberate misreading of why the WNBA allowed it to happen. The common belief is that Cunningham is just a dirty player, a throwback bully who collects flagrant fouls and starts fights for the Phoenix Mercury. But that's the surface narrative, the one that's easy to clip and share. The reality is that Sophie Cunningham, by breaking her silence, is exposing a much deeper problem. She is the symptom, not the disease. The WNBA's own inconsistent officiating, its vague rulebook, and its conflicting business incentives created the enforcer role, and she's just the one willing to play it. This isn't a story about one player's attitude. It's a story about a league that needs a scapegoat to cover its own failures. So we're going to answer the 3 questions this title demands. First, what exactly did Cunningham say to break her silence on this enforcer label? Second, why is she even being called an enforcer in the first place? We have to look at the receipts that built this reputation. And third, and most critically, how is she a scapegoat? This is where we look past the fouls and at the real sources, the WNBA's own internal memos, the officiating data, and the tactical decisions that force her hand. We've pulled the play-by-play logs, reviewed the league's official disciplinary actions, and mapped the timeline. The truth is much more complicated than a viral clip. So where did this enforcer reputation even come from? It wasn't overnight. It was built, highlight by highlight, scuffle by scuffle. The national narrative really took off during the 2023 season. You remember the game against the Las Vegas Aces on July 11, 2023? Cunningham got tangled up with Darica Hamby. It was a physical box-out that escalated fast, leading to a double technical foul. The visuals were bad, shoving, posturing, and Cunningham looking like the aggressor. Then, fast forward to the 2024 season, June 13th against the Chicago Sky. Cunningham sits a hard, borderline illegal screen on Kalia Copper. Copper hits the deck, the whistle blows, and players have to be separated. It was reviewed and upheld as a flagrant 1. And of course, the incident that went nuclear, the foul against Caitlin Clark on June 29, 2024. A hard body check as Clark drove the lane. It was instantly labeled dirty and uncalled for across all of sports media. These 3 plays became the pillars of the Sophie the Enforcer narrative. She was physical, she was confrontational, and she was doing it against star players. The league even fined her $5,000 for the Clark foul, reinforcing the idea that she was a problem player who needed to be disciplined. These plays built a simple, easy-to-understand narrative. Sophie Cunningham is a problem. But what if the problem wasn't the player, but the whistle? This brings us to the most important and most shocking part of this story. The WNBA has a rulebook, but does it have a clear standard? The answer, based on the evidence, is no. And Cunningham is the scapegoat for that failure. Let's look at the receipts. Before the 2024 season, the league sent a points of emphasis memo to all 12 teams. We got our hands on it. It specifically states a goal to reduce the physicality on perimeter shooters and ensure freedom of movement. Yet, watch any game. The league is more physical than ever. The problem isn't the memo, it's the enforcement. On June 13th, Cunningham's screen on Copper was a flagrant 1. 2 nights later, in a different game, a nearly identical play by a different player was ruled a common foul. We've mapped the foul data. Cunningham was called for a flagrant foul for her body check on Clark. Yet, just last week, a similar welcome to the league hit on another rookie with more contact to the head was downgraded from a flagrant 1 to a common foul upon review. This is the core of the problem. Players thrive on consistency. They need to know where the line is. The WNBA's line moves night to night, ref to ref, and most damningly, player to player. Star players get a different whistle. Cunningham, a role player, doesn't get that benefit of the doubt. She is playing a style that other players also use, but she is the one being singled out, fined, and labeled. Why? Because she's not a superstar, and she fits the villain archetype. She's a convenient scapegoat for the league to point to and say, see, we are handling the physicality, while simultaneously allowing that same physicality to go uncalled in other matchups. Cunningham isn't breaking the rules. She's exposing just how broken and inconsistent the rules application really is. This context is exactly why her finally breaking her silence is so important. So what did Sophie Cunningham actually say? When she broke her silence, it wasn't an apology. It was a statement of fact. In a press conference on November 7, 2025, following a team practice, she was finally asked directly about the enforcer label. Her response was telling, quote, "I'm tired of the narrative. I'm going to play hard. I'm going to match the physicality that I'm given. I'm not out here trying to hurt anyone, but I'm not going to back down. This is professional basketball. If the league wants to change how the game is called, call it consistently for everyone. Don't just single me out." End quote. This is the key. She didn't deny her physicality. She denied the intent that the media, and by extension the league, had assigned to her. She wasn't copping to being a dirty player. She was pointing directly at the referees and the league office, asking for one thing: consistency. She's not apologizing for the hard fouls. She's asking why her hard fouls are flagrant and fines, while others are just good defense. And that request is falling on deaf ears, especially when new high-value stars are involved. Why does this feel so much louder this season? 2 words: Caitlin Clark. The arrival of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Cameron Brink has put the WNBA under a media microscope it has never experienced before. And with that microscope comes a new league-wide directive: protect the stars, protect the investment. The WNBA issued internal memos confirmed by multiple sources about welcoming the rookies and ensuring their safety on the court. This created a 2-tier system. When Cunningham fouled Clark, it wasn't just a foul. It was a national news story. It was hazing. It was jealousy. The PR fallout was massive, and the league had to act. Cunningham became the face of the old guard that was resentful of the new talent. She was a perfect, ready-made villain for the league to control publicly. By finding her, the league sent a message to its new broadcast partners and sponsors: "We're on it. We're protecting the asset." The reality is that same foul on a different, less marketable player might not even have been reviewed. Cunningham became a PR scapegoat. But here's the billion-dollar question: does the WNBA really want to stop it? Let's be honest, the social media engagement on Cunningham's flagrant fouls, the scuffles, the drama, it's astronomical. The clips of her and Hamby or her and Clark get millions more views than a perfectly executed offensive set. ESPN and Fox spent entire segments debating if she's dirty or passionate, and every time they do, they say WNBA. The league knows this. The fines are in reality a marketing expense. By fining Cunningham $5,000, the league gets $500,000 in free media coverage. It's the oldest trick in the book. You publicly condemn the action while privately benefiting from the engagement it creates. This makes Cunningham a valuable business asset, not just a player. Her fines aren't a punishment, they're the cost of doing business. The enforcer label isn't just a media creation, it's a monetizable brand that the league, despite its public hand-wringing, quietly benefits from. Finally, let's look at the court. Let's look at the X's and O's. Why is a 6'1" wing always in the scrap? The answer is tactical. Look at the Phoenix Mercury roster. Since Brittany Griner's role has evolved, they lack a true, physically dominant backline enforcer at the center position. Their defensive scheme is aggressive and predicated on switching. This often leaves Cunningham a natural wing cross-matched onto bigger, stronger forwards or even centers in the post. She is, by necessity, forced to play up a weight class. Her physicality isn't just an attitude, it's a job requirement. Coach Tivit needs her to be the muscle. He needs her to set the tone, to use her fouls wisely, and to prevent easy baskets, even if it means picking up a flagrant. She is, in effect, the team's designated stopper, filling a massive tactical hole in their roster. She's not just playing a role for the cameras, she's filling a role her team desperately needs to even compete. So let's put this all together. The Sophie Cunningham enforcer narrative is a lie, or at least a half-truth that benefits everyone but her. The media gets a simple villain. The league gets a scapegoat to prove it's tough on physicality while simultaneously profiting from the viral drama. And her team, the Mercury, gets the tactical muscle it needs to survive. Cunningham's caught in the middle, a product of a system that demands physicality but refuses to define its limits. What she said wasn't just a complaint, it was an accusation. She's not the problem. The problem is a league that wants the profit from the fight without the responsibility of refereeing it fairly. The real takeaway isn't about Sophie Cunningham, it's about the playbook. This is how leagues have always operated: create a narrative, assign a villain, and control the story, all while the real mechanics turn in the background. And this isn't the first time a league has used a player to cover its own tracks. To see the full playbook on how teams and leagues manage controversies, from contract disputes to locker room leaks, you need to see what's happening behind the curtain. Check out our Locker Room Confidential playlist. It's the essential next step to understanding the game behind the game.